particular around the time, man, it was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
Campaign that say free Beyonce.
Beyonce is free.
She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
Hold up, this whole thing with Diddy isn't DaBaby coming out to reveal Beyonce as a crazy off-party child. Simply keeps getting deeper and deeper. Since a little excerpt of the infant's Shanon Sharpe's interview from a few months prior, in which he seriously spilt tea on Beyonce and Jay Z's visit to Diddy's, now that the freak-off party has gone viral, there are theories that Jay was P. Diddy gets Beyonce excited about their business. There have been rumors of agreements about Jay for a brief but intense moment, handling Beyonce in the same way that Diddy did Cassie. However, some were denying due to the perception of the power couple that Jay and Beyonce had. In any case, in public, keeping Beyonce up all day long in order to she engages in immoral behavior. The bizarre thing extends beyond the infant. Several additional individuals who directly collaborate. Additionally, Beyonce has come out to spill the infant, although it took the tea about this. Of all people to awaken people from their slumber, and the clock was true right now, I'm sure the majority of, as you are all aware by now, Diddy's downpour as the industrial villain has a formally terminate following Homeland after busting him, security tossed him in jail, and as of right now, he's been rejected bail twice within a 48-hour period by two different judges, in spite of providing a $50 million bond and giving up everything of his possessions, mom's assets, and the travel document of each and every one of his children. The judges are actually in the business arena, and they desire the devil to remain within his maggot-contaminated cell till the experiment began, and as if it weren't awful enough, he's admitting it. To a century in prison, and even the defense group is unclear on how they're going to rescue him at this point. Regarding the precise specifics of it, seems that during the arrest burglary at his home 6 months prior, they discovered ammo for firearms and more than 1,000 lubrication bottles at a recent news conference with U.S. prosecutor Damon Williams stated that they also discovered 3 definitely serial semi-automatic digits and a magazine for drums. Moreover, prosecutors charged Diddy with constructing an illegal group, the members of which, under his supervision, used force, labor abduction, arson, and corruption. He, the other women, and others in his vicinity to satisfy his needs, and as well as hitting, punching, pulling, and flinging kick and throw items at them. Although this is where everything began to balance out. More insane, since the prosecutors stated unequivocally that Diddy wasn't managing this business independently and that he had more famous people and other strong individuals who were heavily participating in these illicit actions. As nevertheless, this information was made public in his conviction, which I have used for decades. Seen, also known as Puff Daddy, alternatively known as P. Diddy, also known as Diddy PD, often known as Love the Core Ladies, the defendant and others around him to satisfy his cravings, preserve his reputation, and keep his behavior right now, and I need you all to pay heed to what they instructed you to do. Comms thus depended on the staff, resources, and power of the diverse corporate empire that he oversaw and managed to produce a criminal business whose associates and members participated in and tried to participate in, among others, offenses: forced labor, abduction, and arson, obstruction of justice, and bribes. Now, the prosecutors did not state clearly the individuals' names, as they are still gathering proof against them in order to forward with this statement in court, paved the way for a great deal of guesses about the identities of those individuals, and, as you can all probably infer from the names, those were the most highly regarded by everybody. Were the rumors concerning Jay Z and Beyonce and Jay's involvement escalated. Worse, when a video shows the infant interview with a few on the Shanon Sharpe show began to become viral months ago, and in this interview, tea was spilt by the infant that no one had anticipated hearing from him, revealed details of the moment he met Beyonce and Jay Z at a Diddy event, business gatherings in Diddy's residence, resistant providing specifics concerning what the party's specific purpose was, but he mentioned that there were some influential persons, and that Beyonce did, in fact, stroll. It was up to him to present herself, nearly as if her intention was to use flirtation to get something beyond a simple discussion. The infant said that Diddy had thrown him out, all the other inconsequential individuals from the room, leaving him alone. Jay, Beyonce, plus a few other well-known figures, and the infant said that there wasn't began to get quite uncomfortable and even wrapped his hands around his neck.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay Z and Beyonce being, you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man.
This made Buddy seem foolish on the internet, and many others gave Beyonce the side eye. Someone remarked, "Oh, she came over and presented herself to you? Beyonce presented herself to you? Yeah, we're awake." Someone else said, "You let that man put the baby of his arm around you. Of course he liked you. It wasn't despite the fact that your music was in other Beyonce, of course, acted in an odd manner." Jay Z and herself made everyone even more bizarre. Whoever attended Diddy's events is at fault. Some even went so far as to assuming that Jay was not present at this time. From Beyonce to Diddy, perhaps some of you, it may not be known, yet there have been claims that Jay Z kept Beyonce in his possession out to manipulate and possess her, taking actions that she wouldn't normally perform if she was clean. Furthermore, he supposedly touches her when she is out of order, the doctor's rumors really initiated by her former bodyguard. Uncle Ron, who was once employed by her early in her professional career nonetheless, I'll say it anyway. Beyonce is on, she has been with them for a while, and you. Maintain her that way for now. I'm not sure about you know, but Jay is supposedly keeping her on is quite similar to Diddy's actions. As you all recall, Cassie remarked to the only activity she could partake in these bizarre behaviors if she was high-o. She couldn't do it sober, but it doesn't end there. Jaguar WGHT as well entered the conversation a few months back, and she had further charged Jay with maintaining Beyonce using drugs for the explanations behind Uncle Ron's claims.
Why has Jay Z been coming up with you lately?
Because he's a monster. I waited a long time to see if he would grow a conscience. And the more he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in a character.
No, girl.
And there was also this widely shared video of Beyonce zoning out during a basketball game with Jay. Hardly opened her eyes and continued her head gently swiveling from side to keep her PR crew awake at the time, made an effort to anticipate the circumstance by saying she was simply wary of her rehearsals, but it didn't appeal to anyone. Not too long later, Beyonce's aide affirmed to Media Takeout that Jay was placing with his hands on Beyonce. The aide exclaimed appears that he has been experiencing a difficulty holding his hands to. I've never seen him alone by himself before. Strike B outright. But perhaps too frequently he had repeatedly shoved and pushed her at first. I believed it to be merely a little horse's predicament in between the two. But after witnessing how humiliated B was going to be abused in my presence in St. Tropez, I understood that this was no joke. I've helped Beyonce and become her buddy for some time now, and my goal has always been to express oneself. But I never thought it was he handles Beyonce as though she's an object, not a human ch. Not sure how long way Jay Z has included Beyonce in all of his terrible situation. But the truth is soon to surface. And no amount of prestige or authority will to be able to prevent him. Particularly, when did these trials begin as regular individuals? Have their own opinions regarding this, such as the one who mentioned Beyonce and Jay coming next. It appears that the elites of Hollywood are seeing a decline. I love B, but sadly, she gets captured. Entangled in the chaos by ever being wed to Jay, a lot has been stated on how he features Beyonce and all of my favorite things. I wasn't shocked to see that she was at you guys constantly attempt to have odd Diddy parties. Sort your favorites from the nonsense, but you people don't seem to understand that. In Hollywood life, nobody can be trusted. Holly odd, the majority of your favorites are still not saying anything about it other than that individual stated that Jay Z and R. Kelly were close buddies. And now Diddy appears to be following a pattern. Moreover, I don't think Beyonce was simply throughout it all. There was an innocent spectator. Nonetheless, I'd want to hear your opinions today. What are your thoughts on Beyonce? Purportedly getting on Diddy's nerves, do you guys think Jay Z was her at the party? As though the infant is implying that all knowing what to do, please inform me of your ideas in the space provided for comments below, And remember to click this link to view this other really clumsy video.